At one point, Michael blames former National Rifle Association President Charlton Heston for contributing to America's gun violence.
You can't defend Charlton Heston from Michael dead hands. At the same time, going into his house, as he did in Bowling for Columbine, wheedling his way in.
We're making a documentary about, the whole gun issue, and I'm a member of the NRA.
And then to have the men, start calling him names in the middle of the interview, accusing him of doing something which he had not done, which was to go to Flint 3 weeks after the death of the 6-year-old girl and give a speech for the NRA. He did not do that. He was not in Flint again for months and showed up there as part of a 3-state Republican get out the vote rally. But that footage conveniently fit in to the film at that point to make a different point. And that's just dishonest.
Did you feel it was being at all insensitive to the fact that this community had just gone through the
Actually, I wasn't aware of that at the time we came. We came and did an early morning rally and went on to wherever we were going.
You didn't know at the time when you were there that this killing had happened. Had you known, would you have not
Would I have canceled the...
Yeah.
I don't...
What he does in the end with Charlton Heston, it's not sad, it's mean. It just the guy was losing his mind at that point. It just doesn't really make any sense.
This is her. Mr. Heston, please don't leave. Mr. Heston, please, take a look at her. This is the girl.
When Michael Moore attacks the American right to bear arms, he helps to kickstart a new cottage industry. Books, websites, and documentaries dedicated to attacking Michael Moore.
He was an easy person for the right wing to attack. There's so much silly stuff, so many factual inaccuracies, so many bizarre conspiracy theories in Michael Moore's work.
It started because we felt betrayed. We believed in his words, we believed in his work, and then he came out with the movie Bowling for Columbine, and we found out that much of it was invented. Our goal is not... Okay, there's a small amount of animosity towards Mike himself, because he just, after investigating him, you find out he's just not a good guy.
Michael Wilson's film, Michael Moore Hates America, is causing a stir in the conservative media. Wilson talks to the people in the bank who gave Michael Moore a gun in Bowling for Columbine.
Michael Moore just showed up at your bank one day and opened an account and got a gun that you happen to have hanging out in the vault.
No, that's not exactly the way the story went. I was contacted by a gentleman in the Traverse area and said that he was doing a story on unique businesses across America. I told him that you would have to come in, we would have to do a background check on you, then we would send your gun to a licensed firearm dealer, and he was very adamant about getting the gun that day.
He said to them, if you want to be a part of this film and sort of get this publicity for your bank and things like that, you really need to be able to show on film that you do get the gun. And they said, well, I guess we could have it shipped out here.
They spent 30 days setting this up ahead of time, having meetings with the bank president and the people that were going to be involved, and laying out how they wanted it to go.
He came over and he did the filming, and he was with us probably an hour and a half, I would say. He staged it where he went up and said, I want to open an account. He said, well, how many guns do you have in your vault? I said, well, I think we carry around 500 guns at any given time in our vault.
500 of these you have in your vault?
In our vault.
Wow.
300 miles away. And he was told that.
Okay, thank you very much. Wow.
He probably wanted people to believe that any one of the tellers in any of the 26 branches at that time could just go back and get you a gun.
If I'm going to commit a crime, I'm not going to spend $5,000 to do it. I'm not going to leave all of my information with the bank and the FBI and then go, oh, by the way, you know that gun that has the serial number on it that you gave me for free? Yeah, I'm going to use this one.
In many ways, we'd like to thank Michael Moore because he really spurred a lot of conservatives to do something and get back into filmmaking because they realized, we can't let the popular culture just belong totally to one side.
And it's the one thing the Republicans can't figure out how to do. It drives them crazy. They don't know how to make movies.
I do thank him because he spawned an industry. We have a whole slew of great documentaries that answer him.
The industry is laughably bad, so I don't think that those films mean crap.
Whether you agree with us or not, it's a positive thing because we are adding to speech. We're giving a voice to people that feel like they don't have a voice.
They don't seem to be very peaceful.
We believe in putting art back above politics and to free conservatives up creatively to just go out and make films that are true to their opinions.
They love peace and killing Jews. That's what they're all about.
A lot of the films in our festival were a direct result of Mr. Moore's polemicized filmmaking, and in a funny way, he's probably having an effect that he didn't fully intend.
After deserting Ralph Nader in the 2000 election, Michael takes potshots at him on the Slacker tour, hoping to woo some of Nader's fans to the Democrats. But they're just angry at his betrayal.
Hang on. All right, we got the Nader people here now. We got the Naders.
He wanted so badly to get Bush out that he was going to go for the only likely alternative, which was John Kerry. But he didn't have to be so antagonistic to us. He didn't have to go around the country undermining us.
It feels good to vote for Ralph. I voted for Ralph.
He has that personality quirk. It's not very pretty.
You go in the voting booth and you close the little curtain, and there you are, just you and Ralph alone in the booth. Oh, there he is on the ballot. Oh, Ralph. Oh, Ralph. Oh, you're so good. You're so right. Ah. Oh. And then you open the little curtain and have a cigarette, and it feels good. It feels good.
He's a total sellout. He used to be with Nader, and now he supports Kerry. Kerry's pro-war. Total sellout. Time to go. Can you give me a reason? Nope. Why not? Time to go. Why not?
Touch me.
Okay, give me a reason. Have a good night.
Fascist. Michael Moore's a traitor.
Thank you.
Nader has asked him to debate. Michael Moore's a chicken shit.
Personality, wanting to be loved, worrying about his Democratic peers in Hollywood and New York. All this is in the mix with Michael, and I think he's confused.
4 months before starting the Slacker tour, Michael launches a weapon from the Cannes Film Festival to unseat President George Bush, Fahrenheit 9/11. We're on our way to Cannes, but before we leave, we get some bad news. So it looks like we're not getting Michael Moore. Michael Moore's being difficult. I was talking to his PR person, and she's like, well, he's only doing minimum amount of interviews, and I don't know if we can accommodate you. This is a guy who wants the entire world to be able to open their doors to him, and he's not opening his doors to anyone when it comes to doing interviews with him. Michael's publicity machine goes into overdrive. He holds court with Peter Bart, editor of Variety. Michael is pissed off Disney has dropped the distribution of Fahrenheit 9/11.
The potential of this film to have an impact on the election is much larger than they thought. And that is more scary and perhaps worse for their personal pocketbooks if our side wins.
But Disney says they told Miramax a whole year earlier that they were not to distribute Fahrenheit 9/11.
Every person in the world, with the exception of Taiwan and Hong Kong, those are the only two places we don't have a distributor, everybody else in the world can see this movie but Americans.
At one level, Michael Moore clearly knew that he was manipulating the marketing situation by claiming censorship. But I'm sure that no matter how consciously he was aware of that, he also fully believed in his own injury, fully believed that he had been wronged.
Award the Palme d'Or this year at the Cannes Film Festival to Fahrenheit 9/11.
He got that enormous ovation, and part of it was for the film, and part of it was because people really opposed Bush.
And the first thing that Tarantino said to me on the stage there was, I want you to know, I am not a political person. This was not given to you for the politics in the film. It was given to you because this was the best movie we saw this year.
Gilles Jacob, who runs the festival, said that it was an absolutely pure political move. I think I would take his word over Tarantino's.
Right. Got it.
10 days after Cannes, Michael strikes a distribution deal with Lionsgate Films, IFC Films, and the Weinstein Brothers' newly formed company. Miramax had a history of going to Lionsgate to help them distribute controversial films Disney didn't want to touch.
Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien.
In fact, everyone came out very well out of it. Disney was able to recycle profits in such a way that no one could accuse them of colluding with Moore, but they didn't do badly. And neither did Moore, and neither did the Weinsteins. Everyone wins, except for those who really care about honest political debate.
The world embraces Fahrenheit 9/11. Its phenomenal success is unparalleled in the documentary film world. It grosses over $220 million and is the first American film to publicly denounce George Bush and his war in Iraq. It starts a debate that ripples through America. Michael hopes it'll be the stake needed to drive George Bush from office.
Fahrenheit 9/11 has been great to get some discourse going, which is certainly the most you can hope for with a film, is that it throws some ideas out there and challenges some perspective. I don't know what's going to happen with the election.
I hope that this documentary affects the election, because this documentary is telling the truth regarding a lot of issues where the truth has been suppressed for the last 3 years.
Here's a guy who's speaking his mind, and a lot of people agree with him. I basically agree with him myself. I don't always agree with his methods, but his political point of view is something that every man on the street here basically agrees with.
The fact that Michael Moore's films are very popular is perhaps an indication that American society cares more about entertainment than it cares about politics, because they're certainly not politically sophisticated or politically thoughtful.
Michael Moore could only have become popular in a vacuum. If there were a vibrant